Okay, going to call the meeting to order. All of those that can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Roll call.
Well, Mr. Hamill's here, Clerk Flowers is here, Brian Howe is here, Beth Lewis is here, Joe Salvia is here. We are missing Jenny Frederick and Grant Charlotte.
Okay. So we'll get the ball rolling here. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Support.
Moved and supported. Vote, please.
Mr. Howe?
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Hamill?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Moved and supported. Vote, please.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia?
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe?
Yes.
Mr. Hamill?
Emily, yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, so announcements. The farmers market is still going through October 4th out in front of the Township Hall. Item number 7. Anybody else have anything they'd like to say? Anything we've missed?
Any of the students want to speak? No.
Okay, you, sir, in the front row. What's that?
Was it?
Yeah. Did he say anything? I thought I saw his jaw move.
I'll say something real quick. I mean, I wish Grant was here because I'm not sure what's happening there, but I finally drove on Peters Road the other day. Boy, what a great job he did down there. It's really nice and wide and sidewalks. And I'm sure, I don't know if the people living there are very happy because I don't think they wanted all that traffic, but it is a city, it's a village street, but it is really nice. Grant does great work. He really does whatever he's doing. I know there was a delay there because whatever they were dealing with, but they were frustrated during Milford Memories, but what a job. I mean, it's really, really well done. So anyways, but oh well, I wanted to say that.
All right. Well, you can go online later and hear your comment. All right. Next item. You guys are lucky tonight. We might have to make you stay through this whole budget thing. Do you want to do that? Oh, well, we might be done in 15 minutes. So, okay. So we're moving to new business, and that's the discussion of the 2026 budget draft. So in front of you, you should have the new draft. And now if you look on the top right side, there's a color code key. And that's for purposes of things that kind of stand out. So for revenue purposes, blue is a decrease in revenue and purple is an increase in revenue. And on the expenditure side, kind of the pinky color.
Mr. Supervisor,
yes.
Do you guys have a copy of the budget? Do you have back there? Did I give them? Just borrow grants. At least are they allowed to look at it at this point or no?
What happens is this is a draft.
I know. I just so they can see what we're doing. That's
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. It's up there. Forget it. You can see it. Never mind. Never mind.
So you just look at it. Yeah.
Choose no social media tonight. Okay.
Okay. Just keep looking. All right. Now I can't see mine. Okay. So anyways, then when we get to expenditures, the pink is an increase and the green is a decrease. So that's how we're going to go at this thing. We've done this. All of us have been doing this for a number of years. So I think we've got it pretty clear. And I think most of it is to kind of go through and see what's what's changing and what's not changing. So follow the little cursor. Yes.
There's a student.
Yes. I didn't. Okay. Sorry. I usually explain it in a way that drives everybody crazy. So. The last column, and that's the proposed budget for 2026. Yeah, those are passed. Yeah. Okay, so what you see up there is actual for 2023, actual for 2024, adopted for 25, and then amended. That means that when we initially did the budget in 2025, we ended up amending or changing it through the process of budget amendments as the year went along. And then you do that comparison for the adopted 2026.
Hey, Cassie, can we change that to proposed when we do the final version? Okay.
We haven't adopted it yet. But anyways, this will be proposed up here. All right, so revenue from property taxes is projected to be $660,857. Now the next item, sales tax, which is revenue sharing from the township or from the state that's based on sales tax. Cross your fingers that we still have that moving forward because it still isn't completely settled. But the House of Representatives voted to pretty much take that away. So that would have put us in a shortfall of over $2 million. And just to give you an idea of what effect that would have, if we tried to replace it with property tax, we'd have to do a 20.9 mil increase from where we're at right now. So right now we're at 0.6 mils. We'd have to increase it an additional 20.9 mils in order to make up that difference. Now the Senate, fortunately, is the other side of the table, and it looks like they're probably going to move forward with some form of it. So the only thing we can do is project with what we've got there. So then let's move down to we're looking at just the revenue lines, different items. So if you see the blue there, there's plumbing permits and electrical permits. That revenue is projected to be lower because of less permits that projected to be less permits by the building department. The enhanced access fees, there's projected to go up 2,000. People are dying to get into our cemetery, apparently. That's a projected doubling in sale of cemetery lots. So, and we do have an old population here. Look at them. They're just waiting to get into their site here, you know. And we've got activity center revenues. That's $9,000 from $3,000. Interest earnings. This is impressive. Interest having gone up has really helped us quite a bit. So we projected, the treasurer's projected that'll be a $60,000 increase over last year. So then we get to the revenue total is now we got snowmobile removal reimbursement. We took out the library on that. The library's doing their own snow removal. And as you know, we did buy a new truck to put a snowplow on, and our maintenance crew is going to do the snow plowing. So there's a net effect from that too. So the revenue total is $3,916,931 projected, of course. And The expenditure total, which you haven't seen yet, is $3,887,739, meaning that we are staying positive in our budgeting by almost $30,000. Now, we'll,
How come we're so all far off than where we were before in terms of the years previous? What changed there?
we've got changes in employment, and there's some other expenditures and stuff that are in here that affect that. So what happens is there's things that we haven't done in the past that we're going to be doing, and there's increases in all kinds of stuff. The overall increase in expenditures, I think the general fund expenditure is up about 6%, which really isn't horrible. Yes. Yeah, that's the key thing. That was $750,000.
We're still to the good, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it skewed it pretty bad there. So, the next section is the supervisor department. We're moving into expenditures. My assistant, who's been working the job like a master. She's received an increase in her salary to be equivalent to a deputy position. So the deputy clerk and deputy treasurer and the supervisor's assistant are in the same wage category. You'll see some items that are crossed out in here. We're in the process of trying to clean up the paperwork, the way it's things are recorded. So you'll see things removed or hide. Let's move on down to, if anybody has any questions, feel free to stop me here. So we get into general government. Our payroll, ADP, is projected to be $3,000 higher than last year. Tammy, you got any rationale for that one?
So you're comparing to the original budget that we put in for last year. When we first bought into ADP, we didn't know about the additional charge for time and attendance portion, which is the way that employees put in their time. So this year is not going to be 5,500. It'll be closer to the 8,500 because of the time and attendance part.
All right. Anybody have any questions on that? Auditing, that's gone down. We went through the process of interviewing different auditors, and it made total sense to stick with the auditors we have. And in the process, they agreed to stay the same for this year, 2026. And then we've also reduced the gap work projected to 20,000. So that's 65,000 for the audit plus 20,000 for gap work. And the gap work is stuff that Plant Moran helps our bookkeeping department with to make sure that our audit is clean. And let's see, member fees, those are things like the MTA and other groups that the township belongs to. They're up 2,000. General insurance, 72,500. That's not surprising with the, newer buildings and more vehicles. That tax bill printing up 1,000. That's not unusual. Okay, so now we'll move to the next page. Utilities. Those are up about 10,000. That pretty much covers all of our buildings. Not the fire hall, so those are separate. Then we got township maintenance. We're trying to identify in more detail what maintenance is. So there's park maintenance, there's individual parks, there's this building, there's what used to be what used to be it's Steeple Hall is another one. So you'll see them in here. So water maintenance is going to be renamed to 250 West Livingston Maintenance. That's what we need to do to maintain that property in the building. Then there's going to be North Duck Lake Maintenance. That's a new line. We're allocating $10,000 to that for general maintenance. The next item is equipment, and I think that's software, isn't it? Equipment and software maintenance. Copier contracts, thank you, is up to $90,000. That's really a lot of money. Yes. Okay. This next item, general government miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is one of those things we have to be careful with. But what happens is there's things that occur that the treasurer can't immediately allocate to the bookkeeping. I think if I'm getting the term right. So that's kind of a holding place for that. We'll move down to general government payroll. So payroll's up 135,500 versus 117,000. The average is what, 2.5% plus? No, that's not that part. That's the payroll tax. Yeah. But that has an effect on it. So anyways, defined contribution, that's up. Health and dental, that's up. Surprise there. Here's one that I do have a question on myself. Cash in lieu of benefit buyout, 99,000. How many people do we have that are taking a buyout?
I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it is a percentage of the premium that we pay to the employee when they do opt out. So if the health insurance goes up, then the buyout goes up.
Oh, okay.
We just have 10%.
Increase on the health insurance. Yeah.
Okay, then the health reimbursement, that's up 5,000. That's partially due to it is due to the health of the employees as a whole. So, and the PTO cash payout. Want to explain that one?
Employees can have the option to cash out their PTO if they don't want to use it all for vacation time. So, not a lot of employees have been using this, but we do have to budget for the potential amount that could happen. So most likely we won't see anything near that in actual payouts. It's just there for potential.
Right. And if you look at the previous couple of years, you can see $2,909, so, and I think we'll be fine on that. So, but that makes sense. I just wanted to, the next item is the building department. You see the orange line that says new line. At our last board meeting, we hired a new employee. His name's Jeff, who was assistant to, that's not that one? Say what? Oh, it's October. But this is budgeting for that. Well, anyways, provided we hire a new employee, his salary will be at 50,923. So that's a new salary that gets added into the payroll overall. What's happening is Steve, our building official, will be retiring in the near future. And this individual will be working hand in hand with Steve to be able to morph into that position eventually. And then Steve's salary what'll end up happening is the inspector assistant salary will go away. And we'll just have a single item there. So dues and travels, business ed, whatever. BSNA, we have to allocate $12,000 for training. They've gone to the cloud, and it's creating a cloud. So,
And it's also covering the cost of the software now.
right. All right. So moving down to this one's for you, Joe. We've got social services, decorations, Xmas lights, flags. We've added an additional $500 for flags for your program. To put flags up down on the poles down 59 and wherever.
Mr. Salvi, just make sure you get some young guys to go up there and do it, though. We don't want you up there anymore like the old days.
I'm good at it.
Okay, well, you can do it, but yeah,
I haven't fallen off a pole yet.
that's true.
Don't tell my wife. Okay, so the next item, activity center. We've increased our budget for office supplies. They do their own flyers, so they use a lot of paper and things like that, and they do a really good job at it. Print those things like crazy, but Heidi does a great job on it. Building maintenance is up, projected to be up. Steeple Hall building maintenance is projected to be higher, and office equipment. That's for a potential new copy machine. All right, so planning and zoning. We've retired Lisa, and so you'll see the line item goes to 0. And we've hired a part-time person to fill that position. And so new line on that one would be zoning administrator wage part-time, $39,381. So that's a reduction in the overall cost for that department. And we had an increase in dues, travel, and ed for of $1,000 from $5,000 to $6,000 for new employee training. Then this is where we have the general maintenance for the different parks. So we've divided these things up separately so that we can actually figure out what each one of these parks costs us to maintain. So pretty much increase. You see the one Downey Lake that shows no increase. Downey Lake is, at least most of you don't know, is north of the library. There's 23 acres. And right now it's basically in a wild wild form, and the people that walk it kind of beat the trail with their dogs. So we're going to have to go in and do some trimming because the branches are getting pretty hairy over the top of the pathways. Fireworks, we put that up in another 5. We've been actually getting, pardon me? Yeah, he's blowing up the money. I remember when we first did that, we figured it cost 65 cents per individual. And I had somebody come up to me and say, and I don't know where you'd heard it, he says, that's the best 65 cents I've ever spent. So, and I think that it is kind of a weird thing. You put that kind of money into fireworks, but we have a huge turnout. It's very positive for the community. So,
As I've said every year when we go over this, I'm just glad that we're not. It just drove me crazy nickel and diamond people to pay for it. I hated it. So that's one of the reasons why I was really pushing at the beginning. And
Yep.
you told me if you want it, get it in the budget. So we put it in. I've been there ever since.
Yep.
But it's a great. I would put our fireworks up against anybody's, except for maybe like major cities or Disney, maybe. But other than that, it's something else.
so this is the net result of the general fund. It's projected that we'll stay in the green. We're not going to go into the red, which means we won't be transferring any money from savings to cover the cost of expenditures. So we'll go into the end of the next year. We should have $29,000 from the previous year to move over. So. Ending fund balance will be $3,780,507. And each year it actually ends up more than that, but because we don't over anticipate the revenue that we get. A lot of times it can be significantly less. And as we found out, especially like through the DDA, we found out that the increase in the value, for general fund too, the increase in the value of the homes over the last couple of years and the sales of homes as 0.6 mils a couple of years ago generated $400,000. It's 800,000. The I think that's the number. What's that? Oh, 650? I like 800 better. But still, that's significant. A couple 100,000. We'll just call it 800. All right. So, next item, we go into the funds. This is where these don't affect the general fund. So these are numbers that work a little bit differently. So the road fund, that's something that we have, the haul route, which is money that comes from the gravel pit. And that is intended to be there to maintain the road, Hickory Ridge Road. Interest earnings on that, we're looking at about $1,400. And if you look at transfer in from capital improvement, we're only putting $17,600 in because we used to put Metro Authority into the general fund. It didn't belong there. It belongs in this road fund. So the road fund capital, the fund balance, we needed $17,600 to balance that out. So if you look at the zero there, that's the net effect of those moves. Now we're getting into the fire fund revenue. So if you look at the red item that shows appropriation fund balance, $83,663. You'll see what happens where that comes from as we go through this. So we didn't color any of the stuff for you guys. I mean, wages are wages and they're going up. So I think it's pretty clear if you look at your budget, it's pretty clear what's happening here. So. Well, we didn't do all the wages either. So anyways, so here's some items that have projected to go up. Medical supplies by 3,000. No, medical supplies is 900. Fire supplies is 3,000. And vehicle gas and oil is 55,000. Up by 10,000. Dues and education up by 10,000. Radio communications, 2,000, 2,100. Public utilities, 72,100 versus 70,000. But it'll probably still be in. It depends on the winter, really. Yeah. Vehicle repair, $1,800 increase. Fire equipment maintenance, $750 increase. And miscellaneous, $2,500 increase. And then new projects, 5,000, which is a $2,500 increase. So the $83,000 we talked about was that in order to accomplish this, there's going to need to be a transfer of $83,663 into the revenue side in order to balance that. So that's what that red number is there. That goes from fund balance. You can the beginning fund balance of 15,28,087. Ending fund balance for the last year or 2025, 1563. So we have to allocate that 83,000, put it up here in this line item, and that will correct for the quote deficit spending. It's not really deficit spending, but it would be if you didn't have a fund balance, which we can't, then we can't do it. So then we'd be going back to all those numbers and taking a fire axe to them and making them disappear. Okay, police fund. On this one, we had some interesting things that happened. Oakland County decided that it was going to raise its rates for the police, the sheriff, after everybody had already had an opportunity to go to for either a millage increase or be able to modify their budget. They really didn't seem to care about that. So there was a significant increase in the cost of doing business. So this gets reflected in Lieutenant Snyder's budget here. One of the things that we did that's different than the past is the township is sharing in the cost of the school resource officer, that's SRO. So we're covering 50%. School's covering 50%. Essentially, with the increase in the cost, not just because of that, but the increase in the cost of the services, we're going to be having to pull 237,993 out of fund balance in order to make things work here. So in other words, to zero it out. So the new contracts went from 3,372,000 to 3,679,000. That's the big number right there that caused most of it. The SRO, that went up significantly, actually. Overtime, that's really not a huge increase. Sheriff's maintenance, a little bit more on the building and stuff, but looks like we're looking for some new office furniture.
Yeah, some of the furniture in the substation has been there since 1999. It's pretty old, outdated, kind of takes over a whole room where there's no room to move. We've added some deputies over the years, some positions. It's just time to update some of the furniture.
The springs are coming through the chairs.
Yeah,
Things
the
like
chairs
that.
get worn out.
And then some other minor building renovations. So
The line item for reserve equipment back in 23, 24, you see there was zero. You know, I think I have 2 reserves assigned to Highland right now out of a pool of about approximately 100 reserves. We don't really need that. I don't know if that's something you want to clean up the books and just remove that line item.
a little closer there.
You can remove that line item. I don't think I need that anymore. If
Put that
that's-
line out.
That's that, if that's a possibility, if you guys want to clean up the books a little bit. I
Or
would be good with it.
What's in what it causes the bookkeeping. I mean, keep it at 0 or. So that result is, fortunately, Lieutenant Snyder's done a great job of being conservative in his budgeting and been able to maintain a healthy fund balance, and that allows the ability to be able to move $237,993 into the income side, revenue side, in order to balance the budget. Now, when is the millage? Isn't there a millage?
I don't
But
think it's
the
coming
next-
up. I think our millage was a 6-year millage. So we might have 4 more years on it. 3 more years.
2028?
I don't, Tammy would know.
We just passed the 6-year millage last year. So it started this year.
Yeah, that's right. That's part of the reason it was such a rotten program, I guess, to wait till after everybody done their millages to change the way that the county decided to increase costs. So anyways, we'll have to move forward and see what happens over the next couple of years. So anybody have any questions on that one? All right, we'll move on to refuse. There's 6,800. What's that? Refuse. Hold on. Right now.
Was that, my question was, is that refuse or refuse?
Actually, I think it's over here, but that's all right. I even replace that microphone, so it might be the cord. We'll have to replace that. Okay, so refuse. Increase in interest earnings, but that's not any big deal. So what happens here is we're going to have to move $56,820 from the fund balance into the revenue side in order to balance this thing out, zero it out. And the reason that occurs is because the collection for the refuse doesn't occur until 2026. So later in the year, so in order to set the budget up, you have to move some over, and we've got plenty of money in there, so it's a shell game, moving the peas around in the walnut shells. So opioid settlement, that's going to be declining over time. And we get into capital improvements. Okay, so got interest earnings of $100,000. Cell tower lease, which is a good thing. That goes towards the parks. You see the appropriation to fund balance of $402,600. That's because we've got less income than we'll have expenses. And the reason for that is our fund balance, $3,474,601, is cash that we set aside to be able to do the things that are listed here in the capital improvement expense. So we've got $30,000 for basic township improvements, lighting and signage, which is like new signs at the entryways to the township. We're leaving the sewer anticipation expense in there because there's still some hope that we can make something happen moving forward on that one. North Duck Lake, well and furnace. That's for the old fire hall, which we're converting into the maintenance, fire hall number 2, which we're converting into the maintenance building. So right now it's the well shut off and there's no heat. So we're going to get that restarted, and we'll set aside $25,000 for that. Town Center Boulevard, we got $100,000 set aside. We may or may not use it next year, but it's there in case we have to resurface the boulevard. That's the boulevard going into the library. 250 West Livingston, there's $15,000 set aside to rebuild. What happened is that the generator that we have, that big diesel thing, is not wired correctly to be able to plug it into the old fire hall number 1, which we should put the thing to use. So in order to do that, we have to modify it, which is a $15,000 bill, which is still way cheaper than buying another generator to put in there. Let's see here. Has some cedar shingles and some stuff at Steeple Hall that we have to continue to do some landscaping. Cemetery, the fence on the west side we're anticipating replacing that. Ridge Park, 30,000 allocated. We had 25,000 there last year. Paint 2 pavilions, resurface picnic tables, do some other things like that.
What cemetery are we talking about for the west fence?
Milford Road.
Okay.
South Hickory Ridge Park improvement. We don't have any access for that, so we need to put a driveway and a small parking area. That'll be mostly just gravel. And then Veterans Park. Now that we've moved the train station in there, we're going to continue to make improvements on that. One is a redesign of the park and how the movement occurs in there. We're going to move the veterans area memorial to a more prominent spot at the corner, the southeast corner. So it ties together also with the memorial there that's done in steel. So the total on that is $677,600. So we need to pull $402,600 out of our fund balance in order to make that happen.
I have a question.
Yes.
So eventually up Duck Lake Road, I think they're still planning on putting that bike path up there, I'm thinking, but Metro Parks, is that still, do we know, is that still something they're talking about doing? Is that still in the works, or the whole plan is to connect all the Metro Parks together? No, but I'm wondering, I see we have M59 bike pass. We have nothing allocated. Is there a plan down the road of having something to link up? Like from the library to that? We've always talked about, one of my big things has always been trying to get some way to get to Milford. We've tried Rick and I have gone around and around talking about ideas. And then when they said they're going to run that bike path up Duck Lake, my mind is working, thinking if we can find some way to tie in to that from up here off 59, at least you have a way to get into that bike path down to Milford. So I just don't know if we should be proactive on this, or we still just probably wait and see what happens in terms of what they're going to do. And we have nothing allocated, and I don't know.
Well, most of it's because we don't have any control over any of the properties. That's the problem. And
But going down 59, we kind of have that rickety sidewalk or road area you could ride on, but it's rough. Would be maybe something to widen that out a little bit. I don't know. I'm just thinking it'd be a nice way to. Okay, but we don't know what they're doing, so I'm just throwing.
the irony is that they were going to pull that out.
Oh, really?
And
Along
when
59?
Yeah, but when I met with them, they're still planning on leaving it alone. But when I met with them in the spring, when they were talking, they're doing this maintenance repair stuff on 59.
Always. Yeah.
It was originally put in as a bike path.
Yeah, I know that. But
And then they've claimed that it's not a bike path at all. It's not even a sidewalk.
okay.
But for some odd reason, they put in handicap ramps at every single intersection.
All right.
So what's a handicap ramp doing on a
Non-sidewalk.
non-sidewalk? So it doesn't make any sense. So anyways, they have no intent on maintaining it because they really don't want people on it. Because if somebody loses control, they're worried about.
Oh yeah. It's not safe. If that was gonna be our bike path, that's not what I'm getting to, but something along that way that maybe about it. We don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about breaking ground on the other bike path. So I just throwing it out there. So
Yeah,
maybe for next year. Yeah, just if there's actually. Okay, that's fair. I just throw it out there. So. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
all right. Now we get into the next item is fire capital. I don't think we're expecting to spend any significant sums of money here, so. There's $385,988. That's for vehicles. Is that for a single truck or multiple vehicles?
That's just planned for one ambulance and put that in there, a catch-all to the case basically the ambulance that we were supposed to finish purchasing this year got pushed back to February, so it won't come out until next year's. So
Okay,
probably next month I'll have to readdress all that aspect of it.
budget amendment.
But nothing that's gonna be negative.
All right,
Oh,
so
Still positive.
anybody have any questions on fire fund? And now we move into the DDA. We normally don't discuss the DDA that for some reason, but we have that opportunity, so we'll go through it. The revenue side, we've got some grant money up $10,000 for Main Street Oakland tech visit. Now we do have a unfortunate thing, this local community stabilization, the loss of Midwest Glass is actually going to affect the DDA by having a $10,000 loss in revenue. We're projecting fundraising of $12,000, and the total DDA revenue 421, 415. And we've got the programs that we're doing here. So if you guys have any questions.
Question,
Yes.
how come the master plan is going up $30,000? Is there, what's that include, or down about halfway down, it says DDA master plan? Says
That's
10.
because we have to do a new plan for the TIF expires in 2029. And we have to put together a new TIF plan.
Okay.
So we're working on that right now, and that's the $40,000 is what the projected cost
All
of the
right.
plan is.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. And where's the? Oh. Okay. And where does the concerts fall? That's what I thought. Okay. Good, thank you. All right, cool.
All right. Okay. Any other questions on the DDA? So I got a question. What do you guys think of the move of the train station? I think it'll be a good spot. So
Oh, I like it. Yeah. It's good. I have one more question.
Yep.
What is this? Maybe I missed it somewhere along the way, but what is the status of the cell tower at Duck Lake Pines? Is that in?
it's in.
Is it up and running?
Yep.
Okay. When did that happen? I just,
We finished up in June or something like that.
okay. Yeah, I just didn't, I never heard it and I didn't know if it went up or
Yeah.
not. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, the next item is post-retirement benefits. Any questions on that stuff? None of us are.
I have a question. I get some people commenting on the property that we have on going north on Harvey Lake Road. Anything happening on that?
Sold, or we have an offer, and
Okay.
I know there was a question from some property owners in Axford Acres who were wondering whether they could convert it into a boat storage space. So that wasn't optimum by any means. So, all right. So
It's not as fun as the first time around. We read through every line, but that was that, you know what, that night was, that was great though. 'Cause that's how we learned all this stuff, but no, it's really good. Well, you guys have always done a good job
all right,
on this,
thank
on
you.
your end. Oh, no, always.
I have to tell you that the treasurer and my assistant worked very hard at this to put the pieces together so that I could look at them and say we're heading in the right direction or we're not heading in the right direction. And I think it's they do a really good job at looking at the details. So. Okay. Well done.
Well done.
Yeah. Work the fingers to the bone. Yep. So, all right. Any questions? If not, then we can
Any
adjourn.
questions from the crowd?
Sure. Push the button there.
Oh, okay. Most of you know me. I'm Rosie Ambrosi. Today I'm representing Huron Valley Youth Assistance, and I'm here to thank you for your continued sponsorship. We get funds from you, as well as we're supported by the Huron Valley Schools, the townships of White Lake, Highland, Commerce, the Village of Milford, and Oakland County Circuit Court. So I just want to let you know a little bit, because I don't know that everybody, I get questions a lot of times about what does the Youth Assistance Program do? And we are here we do help kids at risk. We work through the Oakland County caseworker. We're assigned a caseworker, and well, it's a she right now. She gives us all the information on what's happening in our schools. So our youth assistant covers Huron Valley schools. So for example, we would help, she's in direct, we have nothing to do with the assistance she gives. In other words, like she has things like school truancy, vaping, marijuana issues, behavioral issues, some home issues. We have nothing to do with that, but we do support the youth because they're tomorrow, they're our community of tomorrow. So it's important for that. Things we do with the funding we get, we do assist the caseworker if she needs things that aren't supported to her. Like we have these mental health books that help the children, the families get through some of the problems they're having. We also offer scholarships to low income families in our area. So they have to have school age children, of course. So we'll do things like art, music, sports, education, tutoring, things that aren't covered by the school system and also aren't covered by like the county or any other kind of assistance. So Highland, I'm proud to say, only has about less than 20%. Last year, we were only 20% of the students that we covered that were at risk or had issues. So that's just a little feather in my cap since I live in Highland. But anyways, that's neither here nor there because we cover all the different municipalities. So again, I just want to thank you for your continued support and sponsorship.
You're welcome.
Any questions about here?
Well done, Rosie.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Thank you.
Yes,
Any questions about the youth assistance?
that's why we support it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. All right. On that note, meeting adjourned. I think I recorded it.